Hey guys, Lindsay here. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on the Wet n Wild Rebel Rose collection. I'm doing two looks because I purchased two of the palettes. But before we get into that, I mentioned in my last video that I was going to do the 5,000 subscriber giveaway announcement in this video. So here it is. I'm just going to insert this really quickly. I picked up 5 different palettes that I'm going to give away to one of you lucky subscribers. The only thing you have to do is be subscribed to me and leave a comment down below. And let's see, how about just for the comment, just say which of these 5 palettes you're most excited in, and that will get you entered to win. And I will pick one person to win all 5 of these palettes. I am gonna do international, so you know, you can be US or international. So let me show you the palettes real quick. So first off, we have 2 from Bombshell Cosmetica. We have the Sour Blast palette. These are my palettes, but I have the unopened bubble wrapped ones still waiting for you guys. The Hubba Bubba palette, or Hubba Hubba. Hubba Hubba, I always do that. Then from Menagerie Cosmetics, I have the Feral palette, and I did purchase the revamped one, so that's the one that you will get. From Alien Cosmetics, I have the Phases palette. I thought it would be fun to throw kind of like a neutral palette in there, but you get some really fun shimmers and glitters here. And then I'm gonna insert a picture here of the last palette. It's from Makeup Slave. It's their Heartbreaker palette. I purchased that, but I did not pick up one for myself. So I have the Autumn Equinox palette from them, and I absolutely love this palette. The reason I didn't get the Heartbreaker palette was because I thought some of the pinks and purples were a little too similar to this one for me to justify buying an additional palette, but I absolutely love the quality of their products. So I went ahead and ordered the Heartbreaker palette to be a part of this giveaway because I figured if I could have gotten this one for you, I would, because I highly recommend this palette. So I definitely like the Makeup Slave formula. So those are the 5 palettes that are in the giveaway. Like I mentioned, just leave a comment below saying which of those 5 palettes that you are the most excited about, and that will enter you to win the giveaway. And of course, like I said, you obviously have to be a subscriber. And again, I do want to say thank you guys for all the support because you mean a lot to me. So let's jump into this video. I'll show you the pieces I picked up. Obviously you're seeing one of the looks, but I do have a second look coming up that is going to hopefully be a little bit softer than this. That's my plan. But I just picked up a few pieces here. I did pick up the Rose Primer Serum. So I actually really liked the Farsali Unicorn Essence or whatever they called it, Primer Serum. I just never repurchased it because it was like 50 something dollars. But this I think was $8. I'll put prices up here. But this I wanted to get, and I actually have been using this all week long, so I really do like this. I feel like it hydrates my face really nicely. I usually do still put a pore filling primer, kind of like on the really big pore areas, just like a little bit, like a little dab of it. But other than that, I really like this overall. So this definitely gets a thumbs up from me. And obviously you can see how easy the application is. You know, gotta do a little Instagram application for you. I also picked up the Jelly Balm, which for some reason they had with like their skincare portion of the collection, but it makes your lips, or at least it makes my lips, a really beautiful pink color, and it's got a really nice glossy finish. I'm gonna use this in the second look, so you guys will see that there. But it's like one of those things where it reacts to your skin and it's supposed to be like your perfect pink or whatever. I also picked up these 2 items right here. Here, let me take this out of the packaging. They had 2 brushes. I picked up the cheek brush, which is a little rose brush. This is a really like cheap plasticky kind of feeling. It's very light. And then this is actually flexible down here. I really like the brush itself. I like Wet n Wild's brushes. I feel like they're very soft, and I purposefully bought this one because I figured that they kind of designed it to go nicely with the cream blush, you know, because the dome shape, I figured, you know, perfect for like tapping it in there. So that's why I bought this. I know I've seen a lot of people comment about like them ripping off Storybook Cosmetics, which I don't disagree with. Clearly Storybook Cosmetics kind of did the whole rose brush thing first, and I have a set of theirs. And all I can really say is, yeah, they did it first, and I do think they did it best. This is where your quality is at, but it's not uncommon to see things like this at the drugstore, for God's sakes. This is pretty much a knockoff of Farsali, and Revlon has one now, Wet n Wild has one now. So it's very common to see these like inspired by rip-offs, I guess, if you want to call it that. But in the end, this is where the quality's at if you want a really heavy duty quality brush, and that's why you pay a little bit more for it. But you know, this is cheap, but it's still pretty, it's still cute. I mean, and I still bought it. You know, you're still gonna get people buying it, but I don't think that's gonna detract them from buying the Storybook products if they really want them, because they are really nice quality. So that's all I gotta say that. So I will show you the application of the blush because I am wearing it right now. I'm gonna be real honest, I don't like it so far, but I do feel like I need to use it a bit more. I purposefully went with a foundation that I didn't have to set because I was a little iffy on the whole cream over a powder, like if I had set my foundation. I just need to play around with how much I get on the brush because I felt like I wasn't getting too much on the brush, and then the second, I even tapped it on the back of my hand, but when I tapped it on my cheek, it was just this very noticeable it almost, to me, had a little bit of like a purplish grayish hue to it. So I don't know, I ended up going over it with my beauty blender and I feel like that softened it out. I kind of feel like this might be a product that I would use on more of my no makeup days, because a lot of times for work I just do a tinted moisturizer and that's it. So this might be a nice little thing to dab over the cheeks. So I need to play around with it more before I make a final judgment on it. But so far I'm a little iffy about it. And then I did pick up one other of the lip products. It's one of the liquid cat suits. I got Kiss of Death. That's what you see on my lips right now. And then last but not least, I picked up two of the eyeshadow quads. So I got House of Thorns and Bed of Roses. So obviously House of Thorns is what you see on my eyes right now. It is very dark and smoky, which I mean, from these tones, I definitely expected it. And then this is Bed of Roses. So I will wait till I show you guys the application to give you kind of like final thoughts on that. But I'll show you this one because all I've done is swatch this one. So I think you can still see the really pretty rose design in the palette and kind of like this little background in the black. So it's a very beautiful palette, I will say that much. They did have a third one, it just didn't really appeal to me. So let me go ahead and do swatches. I'll just do swatches of the first palette and then this look, and then we'll do swatches of the second palette and then that look, and then I'll just kind of recap everything at the end.
First up, we have the House of Thorns palette. So I'm starting out by priming my lids with my Urban Decay Eden Primer Potion, and I'm setting it with translucent powder. Then I'm going straight into the red shade with a fluffy blending brush, and I'm just trying to work this into the crease as best as I can. You can see this color is just very, very sheer. It's so dry feeling when you touch it. So I really had to go back and forth, just trying to really blend it out, grabbing more product, blending it out, just trying to get to the color that I wanted it to be. It still ends up being more of a pinkish color. I ended up going in with a more detailed brush because I was really able to concentrate that color a bit more into the crease. So I placed it there and then blended it out with the larger brush again. Then into the black shade, I used this to add a bit more detail to the outer portion of the eye. This shade actually works really nicely. It ended up being a little bit more pigmented than I expected. So I just kind of blended it into that outer portion of the eye and then went back over the top of it with the red shade to blend it in so that it's kind of a softer look, but still smoky. Then with a wet flat brush, I'm going into this kind of bronzy shade and I'm placing this on the inner portion of the lid. Really kind of going up to the crease area as if I had done a cut crease. It covers it pretty nicely, so you don't need to do concealer. And then with that same brush, I'm going into the green shade, just using the other side of the brush. And I'm placing this all on the outer half of the lid. Again, just meeting it right up to the crease as if we had done a cut crease. And just kind of meeting the center, the bronzy shade, at a diagonal. And once I've got that color laid down, I'm just kind of going back and forth, flipping the brush over between the bronze and the green until I like the blend in the center. This green had a lot of fallout, even with a wet brush, so you really have to be careful. Then I took this kind of dense blending brush and just patted a little bit of that green on the outer portion to blend it to this little kind of V shape. And then with the black, I'm lining the lower lash line, really close to the lash line, nothing too smoky down here. And then I'm going into the red with a pencil brush and just working on blending that all underneath the black shade. This red seems to work better with a small brush. Then to brighten up this dark look, I'm using Starfire from Urban Decay, and I'm just adding it to the inner corner as a highlight and then adding a little line as if I had done a cut crease. And then I'm doing liner and mascara off camera. This way you can see what it looks like without lashes, but I am going to add the House of Lashes Iconics. And that's the eyes done. Now to add the liquid catsuit in Kiss of Death. This is a really gorgeous color. It seemed like a thicker formula though, so it took a little bit more time for me to get it on and even, but it's still a really pretty color. And this is the finished House of Thorns look. Now moving into the Bed of Roses palette, I'm starting out the exact same way using my Urban Decay Primer Potion on the lids and then setting it with translucent powder. For this look, I'm going into the purple shade first, and I'm using a little detailed fluffy brush, and I'm working this into the crease area. This one worked much nicer than that red shade. So I'm first working on laying it down and then kind of blending it upward a little bit onto the brow bone area. And then I dipped into the pretty wine shade and just kind of went over the top of that purple just to blend the two together. And then I added both of those colors together to the outer portion to make a little wing. Then with a completely clean brush, I'm just blending out the upper edges of that purple color since I don't have a lighter color to blend out with. Then using my finger, I'm going into the deeper of the pink shimmer shades and placing this all over the lid. You could definitely do a wet brush if you wanted it to be more intense, but I actually thought it worked really nicely just using your finger. And I'm just doing the entire lid. And then I'm topping it with the lighter pink shade. I love this color and the combo of them together is really pretty. I also added a little bit of that color to the inner corner. Then going into a mixture of the purple and the wine shade, I'm just kind of finessing that outer portion to kind of keep it a little smoky on the outer corner. Then using the purple, I'm lining the lower lash line. Again, just keeping it very close to the lash line. And then using the wine shade on a pencil brush to blend all underneath the purple shade. Going back in with the clean brush again, I'm just kind of buffing underneath that lower lash line to really soften it a bit. Then I decided to go into my ABH Sugar Glow kit, and I'm going into the shade Starburst just to add a bit more of a brightness to that inner corner. And then I'm finishing off the eyes with winged liner and mascara. I am not going to do lashes this time. And to finish off this look, I'm using the Jelly Bomb. You can see how fun and how pink it turns. I thought this was a really pretty touch to add to this look. And this is the finished Bed of Roses look.
Alright guys, so this is the final look. I tried to go lighter. I mean, I still went lighter than the first look, but it's still a bit of a dark and smoky look. And I guess with this collection, that's just what you're gonna get. I decided to forego lashes. I kind of thought that would help with the lighter vibe. Plus I'm going out somewhere after this, so I would have taken the lashes off anyways so that I could put my glasses on. So, I personally love this little Jelly Bomb thing. I know it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's a lot of fun. I like the pink shade and my lips feel nice and soft right now. So I think this is really great, especially if you're going out, because it's gonna kind of tint your lips and I think potentially stain them. We'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna be going out, so I'll be able to maybe like leave a little pinned comment and I can say whether or not this stained my lips as I was out for the evening. But yeah, overall, the collection has its hits and misses. I actually really like this quad. So I like the Bed of Roses quad, which is the one that's on my eyes right now. I thought it was very easy to use. You saw I went with a very user-friendly technique. I mean, you can just throw the colors on your lid with your finger, or you could use your brush. You could layer them, or you could potentially do just the lightest one. That might have made this look a little lighter if I'd only done that one on the lid. I do not recommend this quad right here, the House of Thorns quad. This one was just nothing but trouble. The end result look that I got was really pretty, but I mean, if you get this quad, you're gonna have to definitely do your eyes first because I had so much fallout all over my face. This red right here is just awful. It is so dry. I mean, it's just hard to pick up. The black picks up really nicely, and the two mattes in this quad picked up pretty nicely on my brush, but that red, I don't know, they did something with that. And I don't know if it has to do with the rose design that they put into the pan. Maybe it made it like pressed too hard. I don't know, but I'm not even that happy with the shimmers in this palette. So if I had to pick between the two, I would go Bed of Roses and don't get House of Thorns. I do like this little Jelly Bomb, like I said, and I like the liquid catsuit. I'm just not a fan of the high shine ones, but that's all your call. I like this color though, so that's that. I do really like the primer serum, and like I said, I've been using this for a week, so I do feel very comfortable telling you that I really like this. I have kind of like combination skin. I get kind of oily in the T-zone, but I can be dry like around the outer parts, and I like this a lot. Like I said, I do still do a pore filling primer like right here, you know, in the main areas, but it gives me a nice hydration and I really like the feel of it. The color changing blush, I am gonna have to use a few more times before I really have a good idea on it. So I'll try to incorporate it in some other videos so that I can show you guys if I can get a handle on how to use it without it disturbing my makeup. Or I'll try using it, like I said, on my no makeup days for work, like with just tinted moisturizer, and see if it maybe works better with that. I do like the brush. Like I said, it's a very kind of cheap, light brush, but the brush part itself is really nice. And I think it'll be really nice for blush in the future, even if it's not the cream blush. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this collection, at least for right now. It's got some hits and misses, but the nice thing about Wet n Wild is it's so cheap and affordable. If you do kind of have a dud, you don't feel really heartbroken about it. I think I paid $3 for this, maybe $4. So it's not the end of the world that it didn't work, as opposed to like when you buy a $50 palette and then it sucks. So I do feel like I found some really great pieces here, and it's a pretty collection in general. Like it's a very aesthetically beautiful collection. So I like that Wet n Wild keeps doing these themed collections, and I hope they keep doing more. So that's all for today's video. Don't forget to leave a comment below with the palette that you're most interested in to win out of my giveaway, so that I can enter you in. Let's see, I guess I didn't give a time frame. I'm gonna do this for a week. So after a week, I will close the giveaway and I will randomly pick a winner. I will contact that winner. I'll give them 3 days to respond. And if I haven't heard from them by then, I'll pick a second winner, that kind of thing. But once I've picked the winner and actually spoken to them, I'll let you guys know who won. So don't forget to enter. All right, so that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.